a goal for Detroit City. What a play by Alec Wasinski.
Monday with the right foot. It's in the back of the net.
Too competitive. Had a wrestling match with Mount Everest. Leaving this tray, I can chase off the predators. You can't run with me, look boy, you too delicate. Hold up! I'm feeling a little bit dangerous. And they looking a little bit anxious. If I'm laughing while I'm twirling my fingers. It's a warning that you can't just walk up to me, talking to me. Ain't no telling my reaction, I could black out.
Daniel,
This is such an experience, and it's always one I wanna max out.
game on at Keyworth. Don't leave him alone. Don't let him shoot like that. Can Nate Steinwasser deliver? Of course!
It's opening day at Keyworth Stadium as Detroit City FC plays hosts to the Birmingham Legion.
It is the day we've all been waiting for since the penalty kick shootout against Tampa Bay in November of last year, in which Tampa Bay moved on to the second round of the USL Championship playoffs with a devastating loss to Detroit City that night. Steve here, Mad Cat here.
Finally!
Happy home opening day from Keyworth Stadium as Detroit City FC takes on the Birmingham Legion.
To paraphrase The Rock, finally! La Rouge have come home.
And they've come home strong. 2 wins on the road, including a 2-1 victory last week in Colorado Springs.
Yes.
Thanks to, I'll say it, Guenzotti goal, even though it was an own goal by
Well,
Herrera.
I saw the all accident today, and it looked like he did touch the puck trying to clear it, and it went into the net by accident. But
I don't know if it was the Colorado defender, but they credited the goal on Fatmop to Herrera. How could a goalkeeper get credited for an own goal when he's supposed to be defending the ball anyway?
I don't know. It just...
Yeah, I don't know.
I digress.
Yeah, we digress on that because, it is what it is. No matter what, still the bottom line is Detroit City came away with the victory 2-1, and they are 6 points atop the Eastern Conference.
I cheer to that cotton candy on opening day. Cheers.
Cheers to you. Happy opening match day at Keyworth Stadium. And, of course, as I mentioned, Birmingham Legion coming into town. They've been struggling as of late as well.
0-2, or I think 0-1-1. They lost.
Have 1 point.
Yeah,
and
1
they are,
point, and they got
that's
one,
good
yeah.
for 6 in the Eastern Conference right now.
But too early to judge yet.
Great game against Louisville last week.
Yes.
They ended up coming back to draw that one to earn that point.
Yes.
And thus, but on Wednesday night,
oh, brother,
they lose to the Little Rock Rangers in the U.S. Open Cup on the road, mind you. But
the only USL championship team of the 4 teams that didn't make the playoffs who qualified for round 1 to not win their own game. How freaking embarrassing.
Well, I mean, it was embarrassing, but Birmingham has had their struggles as of late.
Yes. Despite the 2 newbies, Rododatas and Danny Trejos, they played in the opening day. They only combined for 1 shot. That was Danny Trejos, and then Rododatas opened his account with Birmingham with a goal. You know what I mean?
Last week against Louisville.
Uh-huh.
But caveat there on those big 2 signings for Birmingham Legion. One of those has been out.
Oh, yeah. Danny Trejos. He didn't play last week.
Yes. And I was communicating with Kaylor Hodges. You may be familiar with him from the USL show. He has his own podcast, Hammering Down Podcast, talk about Birmingham Legion as well. I communicated to him this morning asking which Birmingham Legion team is going to show up today. Is it going to be the team that drew against Louisville last week, or is it going to be the team that
lost 3-1 against
Loudon.
Yeah.
And of course, Loudon's been playing awfully strong.
Yeah,
as well.
surprising 0-2, and they're facing on Louisville. Let's see how well they do, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tease it with this: 4-4 effing 2, as described on the USL show on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So different type of formation there as far as that goes. So, but as far as going back to Birmingham here, Trejo has not been with them for the last couple games. He did not feature against Louisville, and he was not in the lineup Wednesday night against
and he
Little
was supposed
Rock.
to be a big signing away from the Phoenix, where he won a championship 2 seasons ago.
Actually, he did play in Europe last year.
Oh,
so that was a big deal there. Where
you're right.
The Legion ended up getting him.
Yeah, so. and when I do my research, I couldn't believe, because remember, Phoenix were the champions. They beat the San Diego Laurel on their final game ever, and guess who scored a hat trick on that game? Royal Danos. I did not know that.
Yeah, Danos. That combination right there helped them propel to that 2023 title, in which they beat the Charleston Battery.
Yeah, that's right.
At Patriots Point to win the title.
And don't forget, Birmingham also have their longtime player Enos, the guy with the
Enzo Martinez. Enzo
yes.
Martinez is one of the stalwarts on the Birmingham Legion side, a good guy, a guy that can facilitate the ball to the big men awfully quickly, and he's very dangerous out there. But going back to Trejo. Trejo was subbed off in the 50th minute because of a concussion.
Oh my, that's very serious.
Yep. So there's no timetable on whether or not he will play either, in today's game or not. Nothing's been announced, obviously, yet. We'll find that out going forward when we get the lineups up around 3 o'clock.
And, in concussions, you have to make sure their head is totally clear, no after effects. This is the miracle of judging players if they're ready, they're medically cleared to play, because you don't want to get the player out there, and he's still a little, I don't want to say, foggy, yeah.
Yep. So
we've seen this in football and hockey. They just want to make sure.
And it is prevalent in soccer as well.
And that's the reason why Eric Lindo retired early, because he had about 5-6 concussions. You know what I mean? It's just, you have to be very serious, make sure they're medically okay to play.
Get your head straight, as the word goes around here. So, but he had a good point about today's game.
Yes.
If the Legion that showed up against Loudon shows us, Detroit is going to be absolutely destroy this team. Absolutely destroy them.
You're right.
And we've seen with the fruition of what this lineup has become in the last couple weeks. The options that have been opened up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, plenty of options have been opened up for Detroit City FC, because especially with the new signings that we have had.
Yeah,
I mean,
Darren Smith showed up last week.
Yep, gets his first goal of the year. Of course, Connor Rutz and Michael Bryant. So it's more of a liberal, shall we say, atmosphere for Detroit City FC when you think about it. Because, I mean, we have 4 different goal scorers, including own goal. His first goal of the year. No, 4 different scores for Detroit City FC. A lot of it has to do with that revamped midfield, I think.
Yeah.
Because you get players like Palissi and even though Lejope hasn't been playing the last couple of games, Atis Juf had some time in the first game up down in Miami.
Yes.
But looking at that revamped midfield, do we miss Maxi Rodriguez at all?
I don't think so. Because, like I said, when Maxi Rodriguez signed to Raleigh, everybody, including Chico, will say, the sky is falling. Oh, no. And then when you saw the new signing in their background, and, I was probably right about Darren Smith. You know what I mean? I said, with his knack of finishing goals, and I said, dude, he's going to be a freaking star here in Detroit.
I think so, too. I agree with you on that.
I told you so.
Yep, exactly. Because the guy, he's what he does is scores goals. And that's his job. I mean, and if Detroit decides to go to the 4-4 frickin' 2, you could do that, especially if Devin Abu-Mensah ends up coming back into the lineup.
Yes. And
that would be helpful there. That way you can have a 4-4-2 formation, 4 in the back, 4 in the midfield. And, of course, you'll have Smith and Morris up front.
Oh yeah,
and that would probably damage Birmingham's ability to move the ball.
Oh yeah,
up and down this narrow pitch here this afternoon.
I know.
So it'll be interesting to see what the lineups will shake out. We'll put that on TikTok.
Okay, I'll show up on TikTok like last week. Yeah.
We'll put that on TikTok. We'll share it on the Faithful page and whatnot as well.
Right.
For the when the lineups do come down, that should be around, as I mentioned, 3:00. Of course,
3:00 or later.
We're recording a little bit early because we can't.
We want to jump on before we release our pregame at 3:00 when everybody comes down here.
It should be a packed house this afternoon.
Oh yeah,
despite the temperatures it's not as cold as it was yesterday, although I did see snow on the way here.
Yeah, but I checked my weather app and they said it will be clear and cloudy at 41 at kickoff. So.
41 degrees at kickoff. It's not balmy. It's spring in Michigan. That's all I can say.
Spring in Michigan. What do you expect?
That's all I can say.
We're always on the road at the start of the season.
Yep.
And actually, the Miami game was, by the way, the first time we opened on the road in the East Coast. The last 4 years has been on the West Coast.
Yep. San Antonio being the first one that we ever did.
In Colorado Springs and San Diego.
Yes. Yeah, San Diego. We also played there as well. But yeah, this will be, and Miami definitely was the first time around. We could have done Tampa, but Tampa Stadium wasn't ready as of yet from the effects of the hurricanes. They should be coming up in a couple of weeks there.
Yes.
So.
Thank God that's being rebuilt fast. And like the Trop, long story, we're not going to get into it.
No, definitely not there.
I know.
But the big news in the
the big news.
In the USL this week was the announcement by the league office that they are intending on going pro rel either in 2027-28 or 2028 specifically. No
timetable.
No timetable as far as that goes as of yet. We are not sure if it's going to be a, shall we say,
international calendar or year-round calendar.
Or the normal calendar that we're on now. So, but full intentions. A vote was taken on Monday, I believe it was.
Yes, what I heard from the interview from the USL president Monday, they contacted the USL championship team. They went through
all the owners of the USL, even in League One as well.
And they mentioned the word they got a supermajority. Is that 75% of the clubs?
Yes, and there were a few that abstained.
Okay,
for the moment, but the intentions are going pro rel in 27-28 around that time frame. Right around the time frame, USL Division 1 is set to commence,
and that's the reason why they had the announcement of USL, knowing that would happen. And changing my stance a little bit. It will only involve the new League One team, the championship team, and League One. That's our
new division. The new Division 1 championship and League One are the three tiers.
League 2 will not be involved because they're way too many teams.
And not to mention they are amateurs.
Yes, amateurs.
I'm sure the buy-ins into this league. It's a $20 million buy-in to get into USL Championship as it stands right now. $20 million to get into USL Championship, $5 million to get into League One.
That's cheap.
That's cheap.
That's a discount
compared to $500 million in which
San Diego FC entered the league, brother.
Yeah. So
I can't believe that they're doing expansion fees for new teams. You want to get? I remember Seattle. They also played $500 million to get in the NHL. You know what I mean? Pay it up front, or you're going to be accepted.
Yeah, it's a money game.
Sadly,
as it is for most of professional sports in this country.
Yeah, I know.
The NFL hasn't expanded in a few years, since the '90s, basically when Cleveland '99. As a matter of fact, when Cleveland was granted a franchise, although they were able to keep the Browns' nickname.
That's really good. Yeah,
after they left after the original team left for Baltimore.
Yeah, that's right.
And
the NBA is about to expand to new teams. They're talking that the NHL may expand to 34 teams. Guess how much the expansion franchise will be there? About $1 billion. Like, duh.
What precipitates this, though, I also will add to, is the fact of television.
TV.
Yes. Big, TV. is a big factor in this. You got to get your product out there. You got to make it available to the masses.
Mm-hmm. That's why the big NBA TV track was about $70 billion for the new deal.
Absolutely.
Which cut out TNT. Sorry, I'm getting rid of my cable left end.
And then, NBC's in there. Amazon.
Yeah.
I think Amazon's in there as well as far as that goes. But you're catering to more sources now. You got the streaming services, such as Amazon. I wouldn't say Netflix has. I don't think they've delved into soccer too much. They're definitely delved into the NFL.
Yeah,
as you know,
with their Christmas game,
right?
Don't forget WWE,
and they're thinking too of grabbing one of the packages,
Sunday package that's going to create a whole new headache for the football fan.
Absolutely,
literally, yeah.
TV and money from TV rules the roost now.
You're right. But soccer is a little bit different because Apple is married to MLS. And right now, a lot of owners saying, we're not going to the game, putting it behind a $99 paywall. You know what I mean?
That's the problem that the MLS has.
Yeah, you're right.
A huge problem that the MLS has.
It's a big mistake.
Most of the games are available behind a paywall. An expensive paywall at that.
$14 a month, $99 for the entire season.
Grant you that, yes, there are USL games available on the paywall, behind the paywall. However, that paywall is pretty much accessible when you think about it. With ESPN Plus, some of those games on some of those games are available on Paramount Plus via the Golazo network.
Or CBS Sportsnet.
That's on pay cable.
Pay cable, yeah.
But still, still Golazo and ESPN2 are linear television.
Yes.
CBS is linear television. I believe it was a 6 or 7 figure deal.
You could say that, yeah.
When,
far discount in the MLS.
Last year to get the rights to cover these games, including the championship game for CBS. Mm-hmm. So that was huge right there. Easily, as far as soccer goes in this country, USL is the most accessible soccer package in the United States at this time.
Not only that, you have not only the national network, but also local stations for games not on the network to show on local channel like CW50.
Who will have this game this afternoon at 4:00 with Neil Rule and John Krieger at the call.
The one and only, the Lord Neil Rule. Glad he's back.
Yes. We were glad to have him last week.
Yeah, well, he couldn't do it the first game because he was with the Oakland University Grid that he also voiced for.
Which this guy's been following the tournament religiously. If you see on his Facebook page, he's been counting down checking the tracker as far as it goes, as far as how many perfect brackets are. There's not that many perfect brackets in the men.
As of this recording at 1:19. Hold up.
Mind you, these games are in progress as we speak.
With round 2 and the second half of round 1 for the women. Right now, there's only, for the men's, 121 brackets after the first round. 32-0, 121. And for the women who are doing the second half of the first round, 58,424.
Yeah. It's March Madness, folks. Anything could happen.
And please,
speaking of March Madness,
please stop booking the 8-9 match after your first game to knock out half of it. It's annoying.
It's the nature of the beast, my friend. Nature of the beast.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
The 12-5, too. You look at McNeese State. Joe Dumars is old school, by the way. Knocking off the 5 seed on Thursday.
Okay.
And that just said all brackets in the chaos there. So enough about the NCAA March Madness. We'll talk a little bit about the other madness that was going on. We did mention earlier about Birmingham's loss to
Little Rock
Rangers in the USL or in the U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday night down in Little Rock. So we did mention a little bit. There's a little bit of madness going on. We entered the third round, as you know. We host the third round game by virtue of the fact that we finished in the top 4 in the Eastern Conference. So you'll be getting that game. You'll be getting notices about tickets being sold. Those are separate from the season tickets, as you know.
By the way, I'll let you know, keep this date in mind. April 3rd. After the proper second round, the winners of all those games will be put in the hopper by region, and then we'll see who we're going to welcome in.
Yes.
Guarantee you it's not going to be the Michigan Stars. They are not coming back.
And they are not professional.
Nope.
They're not professional.
Nope.
We don't even know when Nice is coming back.
Nope.
like we care.
Nope.
But
that's the reason why they're not in the U.S. Open Cup, because they were not stationed because of franchise chaos.
franchise chaos. Well, and John Pruch is officially out as commissioner of NISA as well. That was another big story that popped up into the week. Going back to the pro rel.
Okay. All right.
One more time before we delve into what this day means here in Hamtramck.
Oh yeah, and Detroit.
And we were talking about the television and all that stuff.
Yeah.
With the contract coming up in 26.
Yes.
And is this going to be shall we say, a carrot?
You could say that, yeah.
But because the one thing you want to watch on television is drama.
Yeah, very much drama.
Pro Rel provides a lot of drama.
You're right.
For those at the top in the second division, for those at the bottom in the first division.
If you've been watching English Premier Soccer or the Bundesliga and all that, it is drama.
Yep.
Yeah, because you don't want to wound up in the bottom three. Or the top three. If you're a top three, you're going to go up. But I think this is going to be good. You only have 3 teams: 1, 2, and 3.
I don't think it's going to be that way to initially start because I'm thinking that the Premier League, the USL Premier, is going to have like 12 teams to begin with.
Yeah,
they might have a grace period, which because they got to be up to like 14 in a
cup, 14,
by the third year.
And also,
but you figure that teams in the championship division of that, maybe 2 teams move up to that to make it 14 all that, and then after maybe the second year, you'll have that process going where 2 teams move up, 2 teams move down. I don't see them doing 3 teams, to be honest with you, but like I said, that caveat with the new TV contract and all that stuff, that's going to be a big carrot as far as getting the rights package.
Yeah,
maybe CBS will pay a little more to cover the USL. Maybe they'll have more games. Maybe ESPN will be also a secondary partner.
Or you could tell ESPN, tell MLS, hey, you're missing out on being in a bid network.
I think it's going to be 2. I think it's going to be 2 separate things because obviously we know about the closed league of MLS.
Yes,
we in my terms, I call it a super league because they close it off to everybody. They got 30 teams. They got their own thing going.
Yeah.
Who knows if they're going to do Pro Rel? You got teams popping up everywhere in Next Pro, such as Grand Rapids in a couple years.
Although I read Albany, who was slated to do Next Pro, is probably calling, hello, USL, do we have like your little Pro Rel? We'd like to join.
Maybe. Main caveat there?
Maybe.
Television.
TV.
You're not going to be accessible on Apple TV because it's behind a paywall, and you want to be accessible to the fans.
Yes.
And that was the main caveat there.
Yes.
Accessibility for the fans.
Yes.
And USL obviously provides the accessibility. Mm-hmm. You could have a local TV station cover your games. You could have all your games being broadcast on ESPN Plus. The caveat, you could have a couple games end up on the Golazo network for all we know. So, it's all about the caveat of making it accessible for everybody.
Yes.
Accessibility, that you get it on TV, you get more people into the stands that way. It's like, hey, maybe I want to check this product out.
Yes.
I can come in here and, I can get a ticket and all that stuff. Right. Very affordable instead of paying like $50 to go see the professionals of the world, of the top professionals of the world play in MLS, and forking out maybe another $50 to see all the games on Apple TV Plus for a couple months,
or be behind the back row and for the cheapest available price in MLS. You know what I mean? The back row, the upper bowl.
$15 a seat here prior to game day here or match day here at Keyworth. Just saying, very affordable to get in there or get in here for today's games. So, speaking of opening day, all right, what does it mean to you?
Oh, and let me tell you, I'll say it again. Opening day in soccer, wherever you are, is probably a lot more deader than opening day in baseball. Let me tell you, you missed this product for the last few months. You're getting excited, and here it is. The day arrived. You got flags waving. You got a lot of friends you haven't seen in a long time. You say, how are you? How was your off season? We see the same 40 people all the time, but this opening day is the anticipation. It's like almost every other game.
6,000 to 7,000 people coming into this joint this afternoon to see this match.
Oh yeah,
it's I'll say it. It's a little bit more mundane. Well, I wouldn't say mundane, but there's still a festival atmosphere here.
Yes.
It's a little bit downgraded, obviously, because it's not 40 or 50 or 40,000 going into Comerica Park.
You're right.
And another 10 to 20,000 partying on the streets of Woodward and around the park.
And then you're done after 7 o'clock. You fail to clean up and you get embarrassed. For honestly, we always clean up our junk after games because we want to leave the place where we left before we got it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we do. You know what I mean? Unlike in Mayor's game, say they're too busy getting back home and forgot to pick it up. And dumping in the trash can. But honestly, this is what it means. You have a lot of team for one goal of the team we're hoping score some goals, be aggressive, and will they lock in arm in arm and telling them we are united, we support you, no matter how good or bad it is, we support you in 90 full-on minutes. Better than 3 hours in a baseball game or like that. And then at the end of the day, we will celebrate you. We'll talk about it like we are doing right now.
I never did an opening day at Tiger Stadium.
Me either.
I did an opening day at Comerica Park once, and let me tell you, there's a lot more distractions at Comerica Park than there was at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah,
Tiger Stadium, you go for the ambiance, you go for the you went for the game. Here,
it's long
you go
gone.
For the ambiance of the game.
Yeah.
You go to Comerica Park, it's now opening days just become one big party, and nobody cares about the game whatsoever.
Yeah,
grant you, the opening day that I went to, it was rained out the day or snowed out the day before. They played the next day. I mean,
that's the reason why they have the off day.
Yeah, and
for that backup.
What ended up happening was it turned out to be a great game to watch. Watch some baseball. So I mean,
you're right.
I had fun that day, but nothing. I think I'm with you. Nothing compares to. A smaller atmosphere, your soccer cohorts and friends. You get to see them here. You get to have a drink or two, whether it be at New Dodge or Painted Lady or
Falling Warehouse
or wherever you decide to partake. Come down to the stadium, watch a game for a couple hours, sing, act obnoxious, watch the play. Yell at the players, yell at the rest, whatever.
And by the way, you're in for the ride.
Yes,
you're
absolutely.
in for the ride for this game, and we're already in game 3. I've been following this team since the beginning. You know what I mean?
You've been around since
I know we had the 3 months when we were in NISTA and the NPSL. This one is a lot.
I've been used to the professional, whether it be through NPSL Cup, NISA, whatever. As the wind's kicking up here, you might see the wobbling a little bit there, but
not tower cam.
Yeah. But I've been through, like NPSL Members Cup, NISA, the years in the USL Championship. It's a lot more different now. We're playing earlier in the year, we're playing till later in the year, as opposed to the 3 months where you had Detroit City. There was that way. It was like, when are we coming back? When are we coming back? Now it's like full year deal.
Full year deal. Yeah.
Thanks to the MASLW, which we will allude to next week.
Okay.
As they get set for their
playoff. They're not playing this week because they're waiting for the playoff to begin next week in suburban Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah.
Yes. But they are one of the top seeds going into it, having won the Great Lakes North Division.
You're
dominating the Great Lakes North Division.
You're in for the ride, hoping it's a journey from the top team to the not so top team. We have to get ready, and we will be there or they're on the road watching at the clubhouse and like that.
It'd be interesting to see what the stream will be like on that. And I'm sure we got a 4:00 game next Saturday with Louisville.
Yes.
We'll talk about that next week as well.
You're right.
But want to get into the picks before we go here. So I don't have a graphic showing where we stand at this point.
Yeah,
but
we're tied for first against Loudon, 6 points, but remember, it's early.
Yeah, but I'm talking about me and you here.
Okay.
Me and you here as far as the picks go.
Okay.
Last week, we were even up, going into it, we were even up at 3 points apiece. And we're doing a point system. We're not doing, we're liberal about as far as it goes, whether it be a draw, loss, win, whatever it is. We go by points. 3 for a win, one for a draw. So last week,
I said 1-1.
He said a 1-1 draw. He got the goal scorer right, Darren Smith.
Yes.
I got Guizzotti, however, it ended up
They
being
changed their own goal, yes.
I said 2-1.
Yes.
Game ended up being 2-1. So right now, as far as the points go, like I said, I'll get a graphic going next week or something like that. I have 6 points. He has 4. Actually, you got 4.
4, yeah.
You have 4 points. So you're 2 points behind right now as far as the points go.
Okay, thank you.
All right, going into this one. Birmingham, lots of problems right now.
Yeah.
And we don't know which side's going to show up. I alluded to that earlier with the skate from Kaylor Hodges.
Yes, you're right.
We don't know which side's going to.
What side will show up? Yeah,
I think the side that's going to show up, depending on who's in the lineup today. Detroit's looking awfully strong.
Yeah,
they're more fluid. Yeah. They're playing good football. They're playing good. I don't want to say liquid football, but they're playing competitive football.
Right.
They've come from a diversity. Obviously, being down 1-0, coming back with 2 goals to win the game in Colorado.
Yes.
In the cold there.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, depending on what Birmingham team shows up, they could be the team that beat us here last year, 2-1.
2-1, yeah. Their only victory in the history because we have dominated 5-1.
Or they could be the team, that showed up against Loudon in their 4-4-2 a couple weeks ago. Or they could be the team that showed up against
the Birmingham victory last year. We were in a string where we gave up goals late. We had a 1-0 lead. We either tied or 1-1 or a tie. We lose, and it was embarrassing fashion. You know what I mean?
I think we're going to be a lot stronger, especially on the back end there. The midfield's looking strong. Yeah. And Birmingham's got way too many issues right now.
You're right.
I am going to say Mr. Saldana is going to get the clean sheet today.
Oh, yeah.
2-0 Detroit City.
Yeah. I'm going to risk my neck out there, but I'm going to say 3-1 Detroit City. If Treos do not play because of the concussion, I say Detroit City will win.
There you have it there.
And I'll say Darren Smith will get on the sheet again. You know what I mean?
It's all by committee. I think Guizzotti's going to finally get a goal. Personally, I think Ben Morris will probably get a goal.
Oh yeah,
in today's game because I think he'll get his name on the board. But then again, as we've seen with this Detroit City team this year, give the ball to somebody, they're going to put it into the back of the net.
You're right,
one way or another, and then they're going to stifle you at the other end of the pitch.
Oh no, yeah,
we shall see what happens there.
The game, by the way, today, 4:00. Don't forget, the game is on CW Detroit 50 here locally, also on ESPN+.
And CBSDetroit.com.
Oh, yeah, CBS Detroit. Statewide, if you're not in the Southeastern Michigan area, you have to make sure you're in Michigan area. Once again, a little dig Ohio.
And that includes Lower and Upper Peninsula. Sorry, Toledo, you're out of the deal.
Sorry, you're out of the
unless you get Channel 50.
Okay.
on your
antenna
on your TV provider there.
You're on your antenna.
Right, exactly. So
let's wrap it up.
We'll be back after the match. Hopefully, get a couple interviews. For a positive day here at Keyworth Stadium. We'll go over the game as well. There is one other game that's going to be in progress there.
Loudon against Louisville.
Loudon also undefeated. They take on Louisville City.
And we'll see if Loudon is strong enough against a good Louisville team.
Who dropped points last week to today's opponent, the Birmingham Legion.
Okay.
So, join us after hours. A little bit. We're going to do it a little bit earlier today. We've just got a couple games to cover. And I'm going to be putting out Around the Sea, the new segment that I've been doing.
Yes.
We're going to do that. We'll look for that probably around Sunday on TikTok. I might put it on YouTube as well.
It's on a separate feed. Okay.
Yeah, and I might put it. I'll put it on I'll put it on my page. The Facebook. Follow me.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be friends with me on Facebook, Bad Cat Peel on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I usually put that stuff on the Facebook page as well. But
and also on Blue Sky.
Yeah, I might share that as Blue Sky as a TikTok feed there.
You're right about that because the Soccer Night Twitter feed is be gone.
Yeah. Yes. Don't follow me on Twitter.
Be gone.
Don't follow me on Twitter. I don't.
Be gone.
So,
I'm having a good time.
Yes. But we will see you after the match for After Hours. For Steve, I'm Mad Cat. Keep your feet in the ground. Keep reaching for the galaxy. Happy opening day, everybody.
Happy opening day.